The first hard truth, I think, for drawing beginners is to realize that drawing is a skill to be learned. When we think learning a skill, think intention, think effort, think perseverance, think you had no idea when you started to do this what it would actually mean to do it. Think learning the piano. Think daily practice over and over again. Think of staying in a place until you mastered it well enough to start to do it well and then move on to further elements. And the truth is, we need to forget, or at least put well and truly to one side, any thought of how talented I might be. However many times we were told growing up how talented we were at drawing, however better our drawings might have looked to the ones that our peers were doing alongside of us, that none of that is actually going to count if I start to seriously learn to draw. All those cartoon characters I drew when I was a kid and thought was so good, forget about them. If a skill didn't require intent and effort and perseverance to learn, it wouldn't be a skill. The second hard truth for beginners is that learning this skill, learning to draw, is actually a lot harder than it may feel like. It's not just a case of doing more of the same of whatever you've done up till now. We can waste a lot of time doing stuff that somehow we're connecting with learning to draw that isn't going to progress our learning skill. We may be tempted to seek out all of those tricks, tips, shortcuts, fast tracks that I mentioned in the last point, thinking somehow this will provide a concentrated way of learning what I need to learn faster. No. If we have plans of earning money through our drawing, we may actually spend more time exploring the side hustles than we actually spend learning to draw. We may be tempted to spend a lot of time copying other people's work because, well, truth is, it's much, much easier to get a really nice looking drawing at the end. But the sad truth is that copying other people's work doesn't teach us to draw ourselves. It teaches us how to copy. And the really hard thing about learning to draw is learning to know what to put where. It's the thought processes that direct our hand, and we don't learn any of that when we copy someone else's thought processes without knowing what they were. Perhaps one of the saddest and hardest home truths is to appreciate that merely watching how to draw videos, YouTube or otherwise, is not going to improve our drawing one scrap. A good video, a well-chosen video, might very well progress our drawing, but merely watching them can be a massive waste of time and distraction. Not every video is going to be helpful, and chances are the ones I'm going to be most tempted to watch are the most entertaining ones. And while they may be helpful, we may end up watching them because they're entertaining. And there's no problem with that. We watch lots of things for entertainment. The problem is if I'm thinking that somehow this is improving my drawing, as if I can somehow absorb the knowledge and the ability of the presenter just by listening to them and watching them draw. The other problem is that even if the videos are each good, solid teaching videos, they may not necessarily go with each other. There are different ways of understanding the drawing process. There are different types of drawing styles that we're aiming to develop. And we could watch one video followed by another one, and the second video is really speaking and teaching things very much in opposition to the first one we've watched. And the problem is, as a beginner, we may not realize this. And therefore, we start to try and not just understand, but apply what we've heard in all of these videos, not knowing that it's impossible to. This can lead to frustration and confusion, and certainly won't develop our drawing style in whichever direction we're wanting it to go. This next home truth is actually going to probably apply to a very different group of beginners from the last one. But that's the idea that I just have to keep drawing. I just have to draw and draw and draw and draw, and that way I'll improve. I don't need to worry myself with a lot of fancy teaching stuff. I have it within me. I just need to let it out. Unfortunately for most of us, that is not going to be the way to drawing success, because it's very easy at the start to pick up ways of doing things that just aren't helpful. Sometimes because we don't have an idea really of where we're going to end up, and therefore we don't plot the best way to get there, or we don't know enough to see some of the problems that we're drawing into our drawings. And the problem is with this is that over time, not just will we continue to make them, but that over time we will lose the ability to even see these things as being problematic. And that means that if I do come across teaching in the future that addresses this, or if someone makes a comment, I'm not likely to be able to see it and therefore to appreciate it and to put it into practice, because my drawing will still look right to me. Unfortunately, what they say is not true. Practice does not in itself make perfect. It's the right sort of practice that will lead to ongoing improvement. And that's what we want. And we're probably going to need some input from the outside to direct us into the right kind of practice. It's not likely to be something we will just blunder upon ourselves by chance. This next hard truth, I'm sorry, may hit some people hard, and that's there is no magical shortcut, technique cut, fast track, tip cut, secret, hidden ways of getting ahead that artists don't want you to know, that if you just discover it, right to the end you go, pushing past all those people who are doing it the mug's way. Actually, there is one way to learn to draw, and that's the way we would learn a skill. Taking into account, of course, the prior knowledge and experience that we bring to all the skills that are used in drawing, whether it's observation or hand-eye coordination, whatever. But there is no go to the front of the line. There are certainly smarter ways of doing things, but we still have to do them, and they will still feel like effort and work, but hopefully with joy and fun and satisfaction along the way. If the last hard truth was an issue for you, then this one probably will be as well. And that's there's every chance that impatience will be your worst enemy in learning to draw. The impatience that wants to get to the end first, the impatience that comes from thinking there is a fast way to do this and I just have to stumble across it. It will be impatience that wants me to rush to a side hustle goal that isn't actually the drawing in itself, but it's something I can do with my drawings. It's impatience that will blind me to what's actually required in the drawing process. It's impatience that will encourage me to think it can't be too hard. And for whatever work I realize I need to do, it will be impatience that makes me think I can do it quickly, cutting corners, and somehow still get the benefit from it. The truth is that for most skills, anyone who is any good at it will make it look incredibly simple, very straightforward. We won't even appreciate looking at them doing it, all of the various, if you like, sub-skills that they're bringing together simultaneously to have the control over what they're doing to create the results that they're getting. If you've ever looked at a grandmother crocheting or knitting, that's what I'm talking about. This next hard truth may be a bit of a surprise to most of you, but if you're watching YouTube videos, as I assume you are, learning to draw, the truth is there's another skill you have to learn as well. You have to learn how to be a teacher as well as a student. It's not really the video presenters who are teaching you to draw. They're probably becoming a resource that you can use for certain units in your curriculum. But as the teacher, you have to put together the curriculum. What I talked about earlier, that not every video channel is going to be consistent with any other video channel, that there are different ways to learn freehand ink drawing, there are different styles to aspire to, and there are different learning methods, and they're not all going to line up with each other. As the teacher, we need to choose the resources that we'll use in our various units that will get us to the end result of the course, which is, of course, how I personally want to end up having my drawings look. And at the start, It's a very useful thing, I think, to look at a range of things and see options that I may not have been aware of were even there in learning to draw. But I need to learn how to be not just a good student, but a good teacher. I'm going to have to learn to mark my own work to know when I can go on to a harder level, when I need to stay, or when actually it's just not good enough. I need to go back a bit and rework some things that I thought I knew better than it turns out I didn't know. Or maybe it's not a case of knowing, but it's being able to put them into practice in a sufficient way to be a foundation for the next level I'm going on to. This hard truth may line up with the people who were struck by the impatience or the really, how hard can it be for someone as talented as me, individuals. But it's the very common thought that if I want to learn to draw, the best way to learn fastest, there's that fastest again, is to really jump in the deep end and to take on really difficult subjects. If I like to draw architecture, I don't start with a cottage. How boring. I'll start with the outside of the Musée du Louvre, some grand palace, some wonderful opera house, because that's going to teach me more advanced skills more quickly. If you like, I'll start 2/3 of the way along. Well, there aren't many fields of learning, there aren't many skills to learn where impatience and ego are a helpful contribution. And I'm afraid drawing is just the same. Sometimes rushing to grand subjects is also connected with the mistaken thought that we're producing artworks when we're not, and it will probably be some time before we are. What we're producing is learning exercises. Think of someone doing daily piano practice versus someone who's performing for a paying audience. That's the difference we're looking at. And just because a beginner piano player tries to play a very advanced piece doesn't mean they're going to learn. In fact, it will hugely slow down their learning. They will learn all sorts of bad habits. There'll be too many things to juggle all at once. They'll be totally overwhelmed in trying to appreciate any of the issues, let alone all of the issues that their leaping ahead so far has created. And they're not going to produce anything that their friends can feel comfortable about commenting on, at least not with any honesty. In fact, thinking about piano practice is a really good thing to do when we're beginning to learn to draw. What is it? Well, mostly it's daily, short exercises that start with very simple things, and as these simple things are mastered, more are added. And then when all those have been done, a higher level starts to be added, and bit by bit our skills are pulled up to a higher level. But most of the time, most of what we're doing, we can do well. So we don't compromise what we've learned while we then learn newer, harder things. We start by establishing a solid foundation which we build on bit by bit as we tackle more difficult skills, as we go to higher levels of thinking, of understanding, and of producing whatever creative endeavor we're learning. And if we're learning the piano, no one is ever encouraged to do 3 hours once a week, but probably we're encouraged to do 20 minutes every day. And it's the same in learning to draw. Short, very regular learning sessions are going to be far more useful as we do our simple basic drawings at the start than a long multi-hour session far less frequently. Producing simple things well will teach us a lot more and a lot faster than doing large complex scenes badly, which in the end may teach us nothing at all. G'day, I'm Stephen Travers. I hope you've enjoyed this look at some local national park. We've just had a lot of rain, so the creek is up and you can hear that behind me. Generally, I like to be a little more positive than perhaps today was, but I know from so many drawings I look at, but also from students whose work I see and whom I talk with, that these unrealistic apprehensions, misapprehensions, expectations that they have often are the biggest problem they have in learning to draw. Sometimes they just slow us down, and other times they divert us into an unhelpful direction for where we're wanting to go. And at other times, they end up being confusing and discouraging. And none of us need that unnecessarily. I hope that for each of these issues, each of these hard truths, there's a real truth that will be very positive that you can run with in your learning to draw experience. But you know what I'm going to say. In the end, wherever you're at and however you're going and whatever your plans are and whatever you're using, make sure you have fun. I'll see you next time. Bye.